in playing that character and playing that role within doing that too, it's like, no, I must have this.
Yeah.
I must have that. I must do this. And putting that pressure on yourself, it just be you. My second wedding was basically that, just on a beach. Me, my ex, and witnesses, and just the celebrant. It was just a beautiful thing to do. You think about celebrants, and right now we're always talking about marriage equality, and being married. Now, I'd love to hear more about the stuff that celebrants do, because I had a friend of mine who became a celebrant and approached me and did a naming day for me as a trans woman. She said, Michelle, I want to help you validate who you are. She goes, I want to basically help bring you into the world as you as Michelle and announce it to the world and bring your friends and family. And we ended up releasing butterflies with my daughters, which were just such an amazing moment with my kids. You don't hear many stories of these things. Can you tell me a bit more about what you do?
The marriage industry, if you will, is highly regulated in Australia. It's overseen by the Attorney General's Department in Canberra. And so there are all sorts of, you can't just become a marriage celebrant. You've got to do a particular course and gain a certain qualification, and then you've got to be registered, formally registered by Attorney General's Department. And you've got to do some ongoing professional development, 5 hours every year. In addition to that though, there's no need, if you want to conduct funerals, conduct naming ceremonies, conduct renewals of vows, or commitment ceremonies, you don't need a qualification or any other requirement to be met in order to become those. And so there are people who certainly do renewals of vows. So someone who's maybe hit a particular birthday and they want to surprise their partner with a renewal of vows. Got to be a bit careful about that one, because not everyone wants to renew their vows and be surprised. Others who have gone through a rough patch and just have come out of it and want to signal that with a renewal of vows after maybe 5 or 7 years. There are people who certainly have the naming ceremonies, particularly. I reckon it's a lovely idea that that your transition was marked with.
I'll let you have that one.
The naming.
You run with
that. Thank you. I'll take that. It's particularly reserved for the equivalent, the civil equivalent of baptism, if you will.
Yes.
And so you pay particular attention to the meaning of the name and the birth of that child, and all of those sorts of things that go around that ritual. Commitment ceremonies are still out there. Not everyone wants to get married.
Okay.
And do the legals, so to speak. And so but they do want to express their commitment to each other. And so they're important. One of the things that I think is really important to our community is the need to understand how we might treat a little bit differently and respectfully someone from the LGBTI community who has died, and so that we don't misgender them, so that we do devolve to the appropriate partner, so that we play out the wishes of the person who died rather than the wishes of maybe the estranged family.